"Did you find anything special?" Blackie asked. T nodded. "Come over here," he said, "and look." Out of both pockets he drew bundles of pound notes. "Old Misery's savings," he said. Mike ripped out the mattress, but he missed them. "What are you going to do? Share them?" "We aren't thieves," T said. "Nobody's going to steal anything from this house. I kept these for you and me. A celebration." He knelt down on the floor and counted them out. There were 70 in all. "We'll burn them," he said, "one by one." And taking it in turns, they held a note upward and lit the top corner, so that the flame burnt slowly toward their fingers. The gray ash floated above them and fell on their heads like age. "I'd like to see Old Misery's face when we are through," T said. "You hate him a lot?" Blackie asked. "Of course I don't hate him," T said. "There'd be no fun if I hated him." The last burning note illuminated his brooding face. "All this hate and love," he said, "it's soft, it's hooey. There's only things, Blackie." And he looked round the room crowded with the unfamiliar shadows of half-things, broken things, former things. "I'll race you home, Blackie," he said. 3. Next morning the serious destruction started. 2 were missing, Mike and another boy, whose parents were off to Southend and Brighton in spite of the slow warm drops that had begun to fall, and the rumble of thunder in the estuary like the first guns of the old Blitz. "We've got to hurry," T said. Summers was restive. "Haven't we done enough?" he said. "I've been given a bob for slot machines. This is like work." "We've hardly started," T said. "Why, there's all the floors left, and the stairs. We haven't taken out a single window. You voted like the others. We are going to destroy this house. There won't be anything left when we're finished." They began again on the first floor, picking up the top floorboards next to the outer wall, leaving the joists exposed. Then they sawed through the joists and retreated into the hall, as what was left of the floor healed and sank. They had learned with practice, and the second floor collapsed more easily. By the evening, an odd exhilaration seized them as they looked down the great hollow of the house. They ran risks and made mistakes. When they thought of the windows, it was too late to reach them. "Core," Joe said, and dropped a penny down into the dry, rubble-filled well. It cracked and span among the broken glass. "Why did we start this?" Summers asked with astonishment. T was already on the ground, digging at the rubble, clearing a space along the outer wall. "Turn on the taps," he said. "It's too dark for anyone to see now, and in the morning it won't matter." The water overtook them on the stairs and fell through the floorless rooms. It was then they heard Mike's whistle at the back. "Something's wrong," Blackie said. They could hear his urgent breathing as they unlocked the door. "The bogies?" Summers asked. "Old Misery," Mike said. "He's on his way." He put his head between his knees and retched. "Ran all the way," he said with pride. "But why?" T said. "He told me—" He protested with the fury of the child he had never been. "It isn't fair." "He was down at Southend," Mike said, "and he was on the train coming back. Said it was too cold and wet." He paused and gazed at the water. "My, you've had a storm here. Is the roof leaking?" "How long will he be?" 5 minutes. I gave Ma the slip and ran." "We'd better clear," Summers said. "We've done enough anyway." "Oh no, we haven't. Anybody could do this." This was the shattered, hollowed house, with nothing left but the walls. Yet walls could be preserved. Facades were valuable. They could build inside again more beautifully than before. This could again be a home. He said angrily, "We've got to finish. Don't move. Let me think." "There's no time," a boy said. "There's got to be a way," T said. "We couldn't have got thus far." "We've done a lot," Blackie said. No, we haven't. Somebody watch the front." "We can't do any more. He may come in at the back." "Watch the back too," T began to plead. "Just give me a minute and I'll fix it. I swear I'll fix it." But his authority had gone with his ambiguity. He was only one of the gang. "Please," he said. "Please," Summers mimicked him, and then suddenly struck home with the fatal name. Run along home, Trevor. T stood with his back to the rubble, like a boxer knocked groggy against the ropes. He had no words as his dreams shook and slid. Then Blackie acted before the gang had time to laugh, pushing Summers backwards. "I'll watch the front, T," he said, and cautiously he opened the shutters of the hall. The gray, wet common stretched ahead, and the lamps gleamed in the puddles. "Someone's coming, T. No, it's not him. What's your plan, T?" "Tell Mike to go out to the loo and hide close behind it. When he hears me whistle, he's got to count to 10 and start to shout." "Shout what?" "Oh, help, anything." "You hear, Mike," Blackie said. He was the leader again. He took a quick look between the shutters. "He's coming, T." "Quick, Mike, the loo. Stay here, Blackie. All of you till I yell." "Where are you going, T?" "Don't worry. I'll see to this. I said I would, didn't I?" Old Misery came limping off the common. He had mud on his shoes, and he stopped to scrape them on the pavement's edge. He didn't want to soil his house, which stood jagged and dark between the bomb sites, saved so narrowly, as he believed, from destruction. Even the fan light had been left unbroken by the bomb's blast. Somewhere somebody whistled. Old Misery looked sharply round. He didn't trust whistles. A child was shouting. It seemed to come from his own garden. Then a boy ran into the road from the car park. "Mr. Thomas," he yelled. "Mr. Thomas!" "What is it?" I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Thomas. One of us got taken short, and we thought you wouldn't mind, and now he can't get out." "What do you mean, boy?" "He's got stuck in your loo." "He'd no business. Haven't I seen you before?" You showed me your house." So I did. That doesn't give you the right to—" "Do hurry, Mr. Thomas. He'll suffocate." "Nonsense. He can't suffocate. Wait till I put my bag in." "I'll carry your bag." "Oh, no, you don't. I carry my own." "This way, Mr. Thomas." "I can't get in the garden that way. I've got to go through the house." "But you can get in the garden this way, Mr. Thomas. We often do." "You often do?" He followed the boy with a scandalized fascination. "When? What right—" "Do you see? The wall's low." "I'm not going to climb walls into my own garden. It's absurd." "This is how we do it. 1 foot here, 1 foot there, and over." The boy's face peered down, an arm shot out, and Mr. Thomas found his bag taken and deposited on the other side of the wall. "Give me back my bag," Mr. Thomas said. From the loo, a boy yelled and yelled. "I'll call the police." "Your bag's all right, Mr. Thomas. Look, 1 foot there, on your right. Now just above, to your left."